joint mediation teams in Darfur. We used it for the Kivu stabilization plan. We used it for electoral assistance and expertise in a number of countries. And we used it for reconstruction of housing every now and then when it's part of confidence building measures, for example, in the early 2000s in Fyrom, for example. There are many examples that can be given. And this is, again, the short term, but project-oriented around and trying to make things visible in the areas of its intervention. We also have some longer-term programs that look at what can be seen as issues that require structural prevention. We focus very much as the United Nations system on whole of government, trying to see how we can develop instruments and expertise that can help more structural intervention. And I guess the areas which is being looked at now by many institutions, but the European institutions as well, is the area of security sector reform. It's an area that is very close to the viability of institutions in some fragile situations, and we are developing means to intervene in terms of supporting the judiciary, in terms of training police. We have a number of missions that are already doing that, and we are trying to build on this expertise, trying to have deployable experts within the European institutions, trying to have them also deployable within very short time frames. We also have longer-term systemic prevention. For example, we have been one of the major partners in the Kimberley process for the certification of conflict diamonds, which links very much with the competencies of the European Commission for Trade, trying to ensure that there are legitimate sources for the trade of diamonds, for example. We have also launched an initiative for certification of timber, trying to see whether we can enter into some voluntary dialogues with timber producing countries to have certification of origin of timber, ensuring that logging, illegal logging, is not part of a stream of funds for organizations that undermine governments. In short, and then we can discuss more some of these aspects. The European institutions not only are there with a huge amount of bilateral funding. We have about 8 billion euros per year, putting us as one of the biggest donors, grant donors in the world. But we also have a number of more targeted instruments to have more political initiatives. We have a number of capabilities now in the civilian and military side to have more structural interventions when needed, always very much in cooperation with the United Nations, and in some cases bridging to United Nations operations or taking over from United Nations operations. But also we have political dialogues that are developed on the back of the grant giving and assistance and cooperation, and in the agreements we have with most countries, we also have political clauses that can intervene in cases of political instability and that allow us to have an entry point. For example, recently in Mauritania, we had used these political clauses to enter into dialogue with the new regime. In Madagascar, we are discussing with the country on the basis of this framework. So those are entry points that build on what we had as the classic assistance and cooperation development. What have we learned so far from these few years of experience with this activity? Well, first of all, I think there is a growing awareness that the development